Good morning and welcome to the Marketing Rocketfuel podcast. My name is Michael. This is Drew. Drew, how are you today?
You know, to tell you the truth, Michael, I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable.
Well, that's exactly what we're trying to do, at least trying to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Why would you bring that up, Drew? Why?
Oh, you know what? We're doing something we have never done before here at Escape Plan Marketing, and so we're going to spend the next couple of, I guess, mini episodes of this podcast, kind of walking you through a diary of what we're doing here. So on December 6th and 7th of 2023, we are going to be exhibitors at the Charlotte Build Expo. It's a huge construction, builders, everything construction expo, and they're expecting thousands of people. And we have never done a trade show like this before. We've done a couple of mini shows where there have been a few hundred people there, but we've never done anything of this scale. And we decided to do this last week. So we've got about roughly 30 days to put this thing together. And so you're gonna walk through that journey with us and see how uncomfortable we can get and how much fun we have and whether or not we can make this work.
This is certainly not something we would say that it's a best practice. I have it in the show notes somewhere in these show notes or these notes in preparing for this little mini episode is that this is not what you want to do. If you are going to an expo, if you are representing your company at an event like this, and this is not cheap. This isn't a free thing to show up and you're there. The buy-in here is expensive. So we're not saying this is how you should do it. We're just telling you how we're doing it. So
the exact phrase you wrote in our show notes is, "This should never happen." So we're doing it anyway.
And let me just unpack that a little bit. Why this should never happen is on your marketing calendar for the year, something of this expense should be proposed, approved, and then built out and planned for at least 180 days, if not 6 months. So this should be very, very interesting.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, fortunately, all my committees are me. And so, yeah, we've got people that work with us. But you know, one of my key team members, who also happens to be the co-owner of our company, brought this opportunity to us, and she said, I know this is really kind of last minute, but you know, with the work that we've done for builders and with real estate and in the construction industry, this feels like it's a good fit for us. And so we waited and we said, you know what, it is kind of an expense, and you know, we're going to put some into it, but what is the potential return for this? And that's really kind of what you need to look at all your marketing about, is what kind of a return are you going to get on this thing, or potentially get on this thing, because nothing's a guarantee. This is a high stakes poker game. And but when you get into high stakes poker, you have to ante up just to be at the table.
Right.
I think those terms are correct. I'm not a poker player. So somebody's going to call me on that and say, you don't know what you're talking about.
I am a poker player. I'm a very bad poker player, but I am a poker player.
Everything I know about poker comes from Star Trek: The Next Generation. And, you know, there's one guy sitting there playing with an android, an empath, and the captain of his ship, and a Klingon that could rip his arms off just as soon as look at you. And I'm like, you know, I want to be William Riker.
Yeah. Yep. My poker knowledge comes from the movie Rounders, and that's about it. So, with that being said, this is going to be an uphill battle slash challenge, but we wanted to do something that um, would be meaningful in a couple different ways. Meaningful on the marketing side of things, because uh, I believe the plan that we're putting together is something that if you were going uh, to attend a a convention or a conference, this is something that while we're on the fast track version of this, if you expanded this plan out, or even if you didn't, we believe that we are going to see some results. Now, we could be totally wrong, and this could be an experiment. And luckily, we learn more from our failures than we do our successes. But I'm confident. I
Like
have
to
a
hear it that
feeling
way.
that this is going to be successful in a couple different ways. So, just for your knowledge, we're going to share the link to the Build Expo in Charlotte in the show notes. But there are going to be 1,000 plus um, booths or representatives of companies that touch the building industry, whether it's windows, doors, all kinds of construction. Um, uh,
Commercial, residential,
absolutely,
roads. Uh,
absolutely. So,
well, I assume roads.
and then there's us, Escape Plan Marketing, which
Mhm.
I'm seeing. If you go to the website, and like I said, we're going to put that in the show notes. You're going to see all these little, all the it's on like a ticker along the
Mhm.
bottom of the website. I'm looking at it now, and it's like energy, fiberglass, roofing, escape plan marketing. It's so that's a good thing, right?
Oh, that's
Hopefully, we stick out
absolutely a good
like a
thing.
sore thumb in a good way. But Drew, why is this a challenge specifically for you in escape plan marketing? If you could dive into that, I think that would shed some light on sort of the motivation behind this.
Well, we do all kinds of marketing for mid-sized companies. I call them SMEs, the small to medium enterprise, and we do an enterprise level of content creation for those types of businesses. But but we ourselves are not that big of a business. We're a boutique agency, and I think that that's a strength for us because we've got a small, nimble team that's able to take advantage of opportunities like this and kind of turn on a dime and say, hey, here's a group of people that we really want to reach. And we it's a it's a risk. I wouldn't call it a gamble because it's a calculated risk. Yes, we have to invest money in doing something like this, but we also know that we have experience in marketing this type of company, and these people are within the I like to say the demographics, the psychographics, and the locations that we're trying to reach. And so it's a good fit for what we're doing. The challenge comes when we have to answer questions, and we'll answer some of these in the coming segments. Stay tuned for those. If you haven't liked, commented, and subscribed, hit that subscribe button there to make sure that we pop up in your feed for our next episodes. But we have to answer questions like, do we buy a trade show booth and just like spend the time to design something like that, or do we try to do this on a budget? Do we um, how are we going to stand out on the trade show floor? What's going to differentiate us from the thousand other booths that are there? And it's not just other marketing companies we're competing with. I mean, it's everything's attention. um, but there's also a lot of parallels to what we do in the marketing world. So I think that we've got a really good shot at standing out just because we know who we're trying to reach, and we're being very intentional about doing it, and we don't do things the way everybody else does them. you know, in the next couple of episodes, I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of the things that are pushing me out of my comfort zone as an agency owner and as a business owner. when we decided to do an expo. Things about like the hidden costs that we didn't expect, the little speed bumps that we didn't expect. And we're going to actually show you the costs of what we're paying. And it's not necessarily to say anything negative about the expo company. These expo companies, they're in business of doing this and they know how it works. And so, to their credit, they've got a system down. But being new to this environment, there's a lot of things that we didn't know that we didn't know. And so we're going to kind of reveal those things to you as we go along through the next few episodes. And like I said, they're going to be mini episodes. They're probably going to be like, 5 to 10 minutes. And so it's something that you can watch and hopefully gain something from. And in one episode, we're actually going to ask people on the trade show floor, what are your questions about marketing? And then we'll answer those questions in an AMA, and ask me anything from the trade show floor. Michael and I'll do an episode from right there in the booth. So that's going to be fun. Hopefully, you'll actually be able to hear us. I'm sure it's going to be pretty loud, but we'll do our best.
So I did want to bring up a couple things. Number one, I am like the whole conference thing, like the whole trade show thing. I hate them. And it's because here, one on one, behind a camera, behind a microphone, having coffee with my buddy Drew, but that I'm okay with. Big crowds and just having to be on is a challenge for me. And so I'm just being completely transparent. That's one of the things that I'm uncomfortable with, that I'm going to lean into with regards to this. And I think that if you're going to do this and put yourself out there, that's one of the things you're going to need to wrestle to the ground. And then number two, we all want to feel like there's a soft landing when we try something. Look, Drew and I talked about this in the pregame. This may fall flat, and we may look at each other after this and go, "Wow, that was a complete dumpster fire." But we did the quick calculus in our head and on paper that if this does work, number one, we get to expose EPM, escape plan marketing, to another subset of potential clients that may not have ever heard about us. And number two, if it does fail, if it does not go off like we are hoping, then it's an extreme case study that we're hoping that you guys can learn from. Like learn from
Absolutely.
our mistakes if this doesn't work out. And look, will there be things that we look back and go, yeah, we really shouldn't have done that? Or what I'm hoping for and what I'm confident for is, or confident about, is that when we look back at this, it's like, yep, we should have doubled down on X, Y, and Z. And so that's what I'm hoping for. Come along on this journey with us. If you guys are listening to this or watching this, and you either love or hate, I don't want any lukewarm answers here. If you either love or hate conferences or expos, let us know in the comments. Let us know any sort of conference hacks that you know about, that you would want us to sort of deploy in this journey. And you know what? I just registered as an attendee for this expo. If you want to come see us, we're going to drop that link in the show notes too. Right. Register, walk around this thing, grab some free swag, and come say hello to Drew and I in December.
Absolutely. If you're in the Charlotte area, anywhere close to the Charlotte area, I would love to meet you in person. And I'm sure Michael would too. And so look for us. So our big faces will be up on the banner stands that we've got. But yeah, definitely look for us. And I failed to have the booth number right in front of me. I've got our booth number already. We'll put that in the show notes in the next episode, so that you can know which booth, because it's a pretty big place. And so, but we've got us a good strategic location. So I'm hoping to see you there at the Charlotte Build Expo. In the meantime, we're going to show you kind of behind the curtains of what we're going to go through to get there.
Absolutely. Well, Drew, it's always great spending some time with you. Any closing thoughts before we let folks go?
You know what? I'm just really excited about this. And I want to encourage you, if you need help with your marketing, reach out to Escape Plan Marketing. There's a link in the description, escapeplanmarketing.com. If you're running a small business of any size, whether you're a solopreneur or a $10 million business, I want to encourage you, don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. Start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, and we're going to try to model that through this series.
Fantastic. All right, guys. If you've made it this far, as Drew said, please like, subscribe, comment, leave a review. Let us know what do you think about this sort of content if you'd like to see more of it, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.